everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I have made 5 different school supplies paper squishies, and I've actually filled them with all different fillings to kind of see which one's the best at the end of the video. And yeah, let's just get straight on into it. So to start off with, I made this little glue paper squishy, and I just drew out the glue kind of pot in a grey pen, and this was just to kind of give an outline of the kind of white glue pot, as I couldn't kind of do it with a white pen on white paper, so I hope that makes sense. But I basically just used the grey to kind of imitate the shadows, so I did the outline with that. Next, taking a light orange shade, I just kind of drew out the glue label and the glue lid and coloured both of these in. Next, I went ahead and added a little kawaii face to the very middle of the glue bottle, and this I just made by using the fine liner end and the brush end on my pens. So these pens are actually new. I got them from Amazon. They cost me about £22 I think, but 400 of them, which I thought was a fairly good deal. And the fact that one end's a brush tip and one end's a fine liner tip. I'm not getting paid to say this or anything, and the company doesn't even know I bought these, but I just bought them like a regular person does, just in case anyone tries to call me out for doing a sponsor when I haven't called it out. But I bought these with my own money. I just went on Amazon like any other normal person and bought the pens I wanted and decided to give them a go. And honestly, I'm really happy with them. Honestly, a fine liner and a brush tip in the same colour 100 times over. It's the best thing you could ever want. So anyway, once I had the drawing of the glue kind of drawn out and stuff, I just covered it over with tape, and using a white Posca pen I just popped on some highlight to the eyes. I then covered the whole entire thing with tape and then stuck it down to another piece of white paper. What I then did was I cut around this shape so that the front piece and the back piece were then kind of the same shape, and then with some tape I just laid it around the sides and then cut it down into little tabs to fold over each bit so that I could get into those little kind of detailed bits and stuff like that, and without leaving corner pieces of tape, as there's nothing more annoying than having corner bits of tape on your paper squishies. I found this out the hard way because I've made so many of them. Anyway, for this one I actually stuffed it with shredded up memory foam that I had left over from my memory foam squishies over the past couple of days, and yeah, I just stuffed it up and then taped it shut at the bottom. So moving on to the second one, I actually made a little calculator, and again taking a light grey, I just drew out the kind of screen of the calculator first to kind of give me an idea of the size. Next, taking a purpley bluey colour. This was a really weird colour pen, but I really like it. I'm not sure if it's blue or purple or just whatever colour this is. I really like it. I just drew out loads of random button shapes and then just coloured them in with the pen. Another great thing with paper squishies is if you don't like drawing or you feel like you can't draw, you can always print out pictures from the internet, or you can just cut pictures out of magazines and use that, or just really use whatever you have available. I draw mine because I really enjoy drawing. I find it really calming and therapeutic, so I quite like to draw mine out, and that way I can do whatever character I want with whatever little face I want to put on it as well. So I do recommend drawing, but obviously I know not everybody likes to draw or feel like they have enough skills to draw. I mean, you don't have to have skills to draw, you just draw it however you want. But like I said, printing's always a great option if you have a printer at home, or kind of cutting out of magazines and other paper ways to make paper squishies. Next, I went ahead and pop the little face on yet again. And before, by the way, I use my Posca pens now, I always make sure to put the tape layer first. So as you can see here, I'm layering on the tape and then I put the white on after, and this is just so that the Posca pen really stands out, as sometimes when the ink dries it's still like a little bit tacky or still a little bit wet and it can absorb some of the white ink, but when you put it on top of the tape it really stands out, and especially on a colour like this, dark with like that bluey purpley colour, it really stands out a lot better, and you haven't got to do loads of layers, you've just got to do one just by simply putting the tape layer first. So anyway, as usual, I just taped around the whole of the shape and then I just cut around it so that I had kind of a little bag like shape, almost like a bag made of paper with a cute little design on, and then I went ahead and stuffed this shape up. So for this shape I actually used a carrier bag. I just scrunched it on itself to trap some of the air in, and then I popped it inside of the squishy and just taped it down with clear sellotape, sealing all the air in. This type of squishy has been highly requested on my channel, so yeah, I'm really excited to see how it compares to the others. Anyway, moving on to the third design, I actually wanted to do kind of like a notepad. I wasn't sure how to do this or if I should use striped paper, but I figured I would just draw one because I had time on my hands and I just wanted to. So I went ahead with a very light blue colour and just did a lot of lines across the page. They weren't very neat at all, some of them were real wonky, but I felt like that added to the kind of like handmadeness of it, so yeah. I then took a pink and did a line all the way down, and then I drew out a little kawaii face with the mouth open and a little tongue bit in between. As you can see, I popped another piece of tape on using my Posca pen to add that highlight, and then I went ahead and taped up the rest of the piece of paper. To make this one super easy for yourself, you can of course just use notepad paper with the design already on it. All you'd have to do is pop a face on and it would be done. So it's a quick and easy DIY idea for you there. But basically I just covered the whole shape again in tape, taped it down to a white piece of paper, cut off the excess, taped all the way around the edges till I had a bag of paper, and then I went ahead and filled it with another type of filling. For the filling on the notepad, I actually used some wadding that was from the fabric store, and I just kind of folded it on itself about 4 thicknesses, and then I just slid that right inside of the notepad and taped it shut. So for the fourth design, I decided to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone and do something a little bit more trickier, and I actually chose to do a pair of scissors. Now in hindsight I probably could have drawn around a pair of scissors that I actually own to get the design a little bit better, but I didn't think about that until, well, right now, which is just absolutely hilarious. But anyway, I just drew out like what I thought scissors looked like, and then I coloured the handles in that same bluey purpley violet colour that I used on the calculator buttons. And then for the blade part down the bottom, I actually went ahead and coloured that in with the same blue that I used on the notepad's lines. Now this is where those fine liners came in really handy, as it helped me to get really into getting the shape right, and then I just went ahead and coloured afterwards. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm so impressed with these pens. Like, I wish this video was sponsored, but it isn't. I've never done a sponsored video as of yet, which is quite sad. But anyway, I went ahead and drew out the bottom using that blue colour, and then I went over and over to give a really nice shadow, but of the same colour, just to make it look like there was 2 blades there instead of 1. I then added a little bit of detail with some fine liners using a little kind of circle at the top, and then making a little face on the middle of the scissors. And I actually made this into a cute little one with eyelashes, and I feel like it makes the scissors look like a little girl, and I don't know why I'm totally obsessed with this face. Like, how cute is that? I've never done this face on anything else. I just felt like I wanted to give her eyelashes, so yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out, and I'm definitely going to use that face again. But anyway, I just cut that out, stuck it down to another piece of paper as usual, and then just cut all the way around the shape and sealed it all up all the way around the edges. Now, because this kind of shape was quite delicate and quite thin in parts, I had to use a type of stuffing that would go into the little bits. So for this, I just used toy stuffing. I know I've used this plenty of times on my channel. I know how it works. I know how much it squishes. I actually quite like it. I don't really mind the stuffing. It makes it super easy when making paper squishies. So basically I just really focused on popping it inside the blade bit to begin with, and then using a piece of tape I just kind of taped down the like corner bit of the scissor handles in the middle, like in the middle of that V, and then I kind of had like a little pocket to stuff again where like the holes were. So yeah, that's a tip if you're going to make this one, to tape the bit in the V first so that you have two pockets on the top afterwards. So moving on to the fifth and final design, I actually decided to do this pencil, and this was what actually inspired me to do the whole entire video, as one of the Chelseys actually like requested this on a few of my previous videos, and I decided that I would do not only just a pencil, I would do like 5 other designs. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. So I just drew out the pencil shape in yellow, and then with a silvery grey colour I just did like the metal bit, and then with a pink I drew out the eraser bit on the end. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how these colours look. With these pens also you get so many different shades of the colour, so it was really easy to get the exact colour that I wanted because I had them already there in a nice clear packet. Next, taking this beigey kind of colour, I then did the tip of the pencil, and using a very, very dark grey, I actually just did the lead bit on the top, and I also used some fine liners to kind of give the pencil some detail. I went ahead and did the kawaii face, and then added some highlight to the eyes using a Posca pen. I then went ahead and taped this down to a piece of white paper, cut around it. You know the drill by now, I've just made 4 in this video, so yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking for this one. Anyway, to stuff this one, I decided to use some toilet roll paper, as this has been suggested on a few of my previous paper squishies to see how it compares. I just cut this into strips, kind of shredded it up with my hands a little bit, and then just stuffed it inside of the squishy. So once the pencil was then complete, that marks the completion of all 5 of my back to school inspired paper squishies. Obviously we have the pencil, the calculator, the scissors, the notebook and the glue. I'm really happy with how they all look together, but the main thing that I wanted to test for this one was the fillings. So the paper one obviously had the tissue paper in. It didn't really work that well. It was quite dense. It didn't really bounce back, but it did puff it out a little bit, but I would not say that this one would be recommended at all. The next one was obviously the glue, which I used memory foam inside of. I've used memory foam so many times on my channel and really recommend it, especially if you're making memory foam squishies, so this one was a plus. The third one was the calculator with the carrier bag inside, and again this is something that I've used before and I would definitely rate the filling on this one, especially when you trap air inside. It works really well, and because they're nice and chunky, I'd give this one a plus also. The scissors, because it was quite narrow and I'd kind of stuffed loads of stuff inside, it didn't work out the best, especially compared to the carrier bag one, so there's that. And then the last one was obviously the notebook, and this one here, I feel like this one here was actually my favourite because it just turned out so well. I think that's because it's a lot bigger and has a lot more air in. It's also a lot more thicker thanks to the layers of wadding, and it actually bounces back really nicely, like to kind of like its original shape, which is just what we want. It is really nice to squish because the wadding is so soft, and honestly it was so cheap to buy. Like you can get it on eBay or any haberdashery store or anything like that. So yeah, I would definitely rate this one. So in order of like squishiness that I actually like, I would say the glue is number 1 for memory foam. If you don't have it, I would say the kind of wadding would be second best, with the carrier bag in the middle, and then the tissue paper being the last one, which is the pencil, because I wasn't keen on that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments what videos you would like to see in the future. And yeah, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!